One thing that really disappoints us about wrestling games in present day is the abundance of cheat codes and unlockables. It's all DLCs for an extra price with little creativity going into them. There has certainly been some strange stuff included in the SmackDown games, but during the heyday of the PlayStation and Nintendo 64, it was common to find cheats to make our games as stupid as possible, and at times completing a game could unlock some seriously strange shit. Join us now as WrestleMania takes a look at 15 of the strangest unlockables in a wrestling video game. Number 15. Quang. The mysterious masked Quang was none other than Puerto Rican star Savio Vega under a mask. Quang was hyped as a masked ninja, complete with martial arts skills and a shadowy background. Even though Quang was a short-lived mid-carder, the masked ninja appeared exclusively in the Sega 32X version of WWF Raw as a playable wrestler. He's probably the least strangest on our list, as he was at least a real wrestler, but since he was such an elusive wrestler in real life, not going past a few TV appearances, it was odd to see him included in the game. If you're interested in playing the masked ninja, he can be unlocked simply with a cheat code. But don't get your hopes up of playing with a fast, mysterious ninja, as Quang is simply a sprite change, meaning he has no unique moveset and instead possesses both Diesel and Bam Bam Bigelow's finishers along with Doink's mega moves. How boring. Number 14. Afro Thunder. Does anybody remember Ready to Rumble Boxing, released in the early 2000s? It was similar to Nintendo's Punch-Out series, containing a melange of fictional native boxers from around the world, and even featured famous ring announcer Michael Buffer. The series included a number of strange characters itself, including Michael Jackson and Hillary Clinton. One of the main characters, however, was Afro Thunder, a boxer with a slender frame but distinguishable monster afro. The character was only seen in the boxing series, which included its sequel Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2, but since Midway developed and published TNA Impact in 2008, Afro Thunder can be unlocked in the game by obtaining 750,000 or more style points. He was an odd choice for a TNA game, but as we shall see, he's not the only fictional boxer included in a wrestling game. Number 13. Green and Red. You know when you've created a character in a WWE video game and you head over to the Create a Moveset to put the final finishing touches on your wrestler and give them combination 3 as their finisher? Didn't you wish you could play as the 2 wrestlers in the ring demonstrating the moves? No? Well, let's assume you said yes, with THQ making your odd dreams come true in SmackDown vs Raw 2010, as you can unlock both the green and red dummies by playing through Randy Orton's Road to WrestleMania. You'll have to refuse Cody Rhodes' help and then reverse 3 of Batista's attacks. We can just see the new main event of WrestleMania 34, Green vs Red. Certainly beats Brock vs Reigns. Number 12. Joe Bruiser. It seems like TNA Impact wasn't the first game to introduce a boxing character as an unlockable in a wrestling game, as WCW vs NWO World Tour for the Nintendo 64 beat them to the punch, no pun intended, with Joe Bruiser, who looks suspiciously like the most famous boxer in the world, Muhammad Ali, as a boss level character. Interestingly, instead of just being a duplicate model with a different texture, Ali has no wrestling moves and behaves just like a boxer, with punches only. In order to unlock him, all you have to do is beat him, but that's after completing the DOA, IU, WCW and NOW League in challenge mode. The same also goes for the equally odd Black Widow character. Number 11. Doug Dillinger. Before we had the perfect 10 Ty Dillinger, we had the perfect 5 Doug Dillinger. Seriously, there's no relation. Anyone who remembers him from the dark days of WCW recalls he was head of security, but we're still puzzled on why he appears in not 1, but 2 WCW games. Dillinger first appeared in WCW Mayhem, but he's an unlockable character. Just imagine the disappointment after you've put in a couple of hours on hard difficulty with a cruiserweight wrestler, beating the quest for the best mode, only to unlock him. At least in WCW's successor game Backstage Assault, he's unlocked from the start, preventing you from wasting your time. Number 10. A Druid. In a true WTF moment, during The Undertaker's Road to WrestleMania playthrough, strange things start to happen as druids will start appearing backstage. Creepy background music can be heard and your camera starts going crazy, with everything having an Undertaker-like purple hue. When you start your match for the night, you'll be informed it's a Lost Soul vs Lost Soul 15-man battle royal, with your selected wrestler battling against just druids in an eerie druid-filled arena. creepy. You can unlock the creepy Druid and even the arena by completing all 5 Road to WrestleManias. Number 9. Fred Durst. Many of you will recall The Undertaker's midlife crisis biker gimmick, which included Taker coming down to the ring on his motorcycle with his entrance theme Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, which developers Ukes managed to incorporate into the 3rd installment of the SmackDown series,
WWF SmackDown! Just bring it!
Yeah, thanks Michael Cole. However, according to a number of sources, the song could only be used in the game if a certain agreement was made. In exchange for the song, vocalist and rapper Fred Durst requested to be included in the game as a playable character. Durst is one of the hardest characters to unlock. You gotta play as The Undertaker in Slobberknocker mode and beat 20 wrestlers within the time limit. When you unlock Durst, he gets his own unique entrance, complete with Pimp Wagon. He also appears as a hidden character in the lackluster WWF Raw, this time coming down in Taker's Harley. Let's hope we don't get Kid Rock in WWE 2K19 as an exclusive character next year. Number 8. The Masked Man. There's been a number of unidentifiable masked men in the WWE, but none so awkward as the ones that ambushed The Undertaker right after the 7th July bombings in the UK. Well, even though it's unrelated to the incident, WWE included a coincidentally similar playable masked man in SmackDown vs Raw 2009, who appears during Jericho's Road to WrestleMania scenario. The masked man turns out to be Randy Orton, but that is until you're placed in an over-the-top battle royal match with 6 other masked men. They turn out to be nobody in particular, but you can still unlock the mystery man, whoever he is, by completing Jericho's Road to WrestleMania. Number 7. Tarak. Looking like a Tatanka prototype, Acclaim made the strange choice of including one of their lead characters from the Turok series into WWF's Warzone. The only problem is that if you wanted to unlock the Dinosaur Hunter, you would need a Game Shark, a cheat device that plugged straight into your console. If you didn't have one, well, unfortunately, you were out of luck. He's certainly a strange addition to the game, but not as strange as the next entry. Number 6. The Ring Girls. WWF Warzone included a number of revolutionary features in a WWE wrestling game. Released in 1998, it was the first WWE game to use 3D models with more polygons, larger textures, a realistic moveset, and included a fully functional creator-wrestler mode for the first time. The game had 18 playable wrestlers, including Bret Hart, who had left the WWE some months prior, not sure why, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Shawn Michaels. Oddly, the game included 2 hidden females, Sue, who appears in season mode to distribute the championship wherever it changes hands, and Pamela, who was reportedly based on an employee from Iguana Entertainment, one of the developers of the game. It's rumoured, however, Sue and Pamela were generic female characters that were being developed as Sable in China. Number 5. Crash Test Dummy. It really doesn't get weirder, or lazier in some cases, when you add a crash test dummy into a wrestling game as an unlockable wrestler.
This exhibit is closed.
The dummy is totally generic. It possesses no stats and no entrance. It's just a body. Well, kind of. Number 4. A Ho. Developers Ukes certainly wanted everybody to come aboard the Ho train in the Nintendo 64 exclusive WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy. However, unlocking a Ho was relatively easier in the WrestleMania 2000 game. As much as the same way you'd unlock the pointless crash test dummy, all you needed was a Game Shark device. You'd then have the option to choose between 4 different ladies of the night and let your fantasies run wild in the ring. In No Mercy, unlocking the Ho was extremely repetitive, as you would have to spend an insane amount of money at the SmackDown Mall in order to unlock her. $500,000 is what it cost you to get her, about 10 times as much as other legends. Trust us, it's not worth the effort. Number 3. Zombies. SmackDown vs Raw 2009 really included some strange shit. Not only can you unlock a Druid with the Druid Arena, you can unlock zombies in the form of Santino Marella and Finlay. In order to unlock the Wrestlers of the Dead, you'll have to play through The Undertaker's Road to WrestleMania. Whilst they serve no other purpose than a different texture, it's kinda cool to have them face off in the ring, or for some of that real ECW revival wrestling. Number 2. Head. The Attitude Era was arguably the WWE's biggest turning point. After WWE finally realized the PG wacky family friendly content wasn't bringing in the views, it changed its whole image. Ladies were now skimpier and innuendos were running wild. A shining example of this was a mid-card gimmick that was heavily over. It included Al Snow literally talking to a mannequin head. Knowing it was so over, developers Acclaim decided to insert the head as an unlockable in WWF Attitude. However, if you want something to haunt your dreams at night, disregard the Druids. All you need to do is witness this. And number 1. The unholiness of crap. Some wrestling games will give you a handful of unlockable characters. It's something that increases replayability, even if it means countless hours unlocking Doug Dillinger. Well, THQ's low-rated WCW Nitro video game, which already had quite an extensive playable roster, raises the bar when it comes to unlockable wrestlers. Inserting a cheat at the title screen will unlock 48 bonus wrestlers. 48! Let that sink in. Now, you might be thinking, 48 extra wrestlers, that's one heck of a great deal. That is until you scroll through the unholiness of crap that these extra wrestlers are. Whilst there are a handful of actual WCW wrestlers and employees, most of them aren't even on the WCW roster, and you would mistakenly thought that they were just random people inserted into a video game. They are actually the developer team Inland Productions, along with some other random fictional characters, making these the strangest unlockables in any wrestling video game. Why they included them is anybody's guess. Well guys, that wraps up this video of 15 of the strangest unlockables in a wrestling video game. We're no expert on video games, so were there any we missed out? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.